So, there is this guy I am friends with, both in our early 20s, for about 5 years, same group of friends, and I have been crushing on him for about two. I am pretty sure that the feelings are one-sided, but to move on, I really need to talk with him about it, and there is still this tiny little hope that it is mutual. So, guys, how would you like this kind of talk to go? Edit. Wow, I did not expect to get this many replies. Thank you all for your really helpful answers and support. Hearing your personal thoughts about it and that most of you wouldn't mind it or would even be flattered by it is reassuring. The specific tips are also very helpful on how to potentially go about it. Story 1. Don't be cute with it. Just be direct and blunt. Leave no room for him to walk off and a week later think, was she hitting on me? Don't let that happen. Story 2. Do you want this relationship to have long-term potential? If so, then be direct and honest. Make an opportunity to be alone with him, but with easy ways for both parties to leave if needed. Share your honest feelings. The only outcomes are that it was never going to work, or you start a relationship based on honesty and openness. Story 3. There's a little girl in my son's kindergarten class who is crushing on him pretty hard right now. The other day, she gave him an oval-shaped piece of brown construction paper with random colors drawn on it. Apparently, it's a potato. So, you could try that. Just give him a potato. Story 4. I honestly don't think it matters how you do it, except please don't lead with sex. I have had female friends suggest we have sex only to find out later that their feelings were more than that, and they ended up getting hurt. Make it clear that you want to date, not just hook up as friends. Story 5. A similar thing happened to me. I met my friend when we were 16 in high school. We hung out all the time with our friends. Throughout college, we were still close friends and dated other people. I knew I had a crush on him but didn't tell him or any of our friends for fear of it damaging our friendship. I went away to graduate school in another country for a year. When I came back, after reflecting on it for a while, I confessed that I liked him all those years but was always too afraid to tell him. He said he thought I liked him but didn't want to act on it for fear of being thought of as creepy. We've been dating for 3 years now, and we've known each other for 11 years. Our friends were so incredibly supportive of us being together. We took about a month before sharing the news with them. Honestly, it's incredible to reflect on how we've grown and matured with each other. I think if we dated any earlier, it may not have worked because we were at different points in our lives. Story 6. Ideally, we would both be plunged into some form of dystopian nightmare. It turns out that you are particularly gifted in some form of combat, but I am no slouch myself. I also developed the weird habit of backflipping whenever I enter or exit a room. It looks like our new terrifying situation will bring us together, but then a third person shows up. He has a better scowl than me, although I have better eyebrows. Our six-packs are pretty much even in all regards, so it's basically 50-50 between us. He offers you a sense of fresh excitement, while I represent your longing for a simpler time and personal security. You'll go back and forth on which one of us you love, and your wavering feelings will pretty much always coincide with thinking you love the one that is in more danger, but you'll be kissing the one who is in the closest proximity. The only way I will truly know you like me for me, not just my eyebrows, is if we are together at the end of the third book. Story 7. Propose to him, then pull back and say, maybe later perhaps? For now, let's date. Don't do that actually. Tell him you like him and would like to like him more. Story 8. Do it one-on-one. A restaurant, coffee shop, or the like. Be direct. Use straightforward words like date, crush, attracted, etc. Beyond that, do not make a massive deal out of it and give him a moment to think about his response. Story 9. To quote the best romantic comedy of all time, invite him out for a drink and then after about 20 minutes casually drop into the conversation the fact that you'd like to marry him and have lots of sex and babies. Story 10. Just be honest with him. Tell him that you would like to know him more beyond your current friendship, and that's about it. Don't make a big deal about it. Story 11. I've had this talk with a female friend I was interested in, and I was pretty sure it was one-sided, but I couldn't keep it to myself any longer. I would probably want to be told in the way I told her. We were hanging out, just the two of us, and during a quiet moment, I basically said, Hey, I don't know if you've already noticed, but you're one of my favorite people, and I care about you a lot in more than a friend kind of way. I haven't told you because I was afraid that saying something would change our friendship, which is the most important thing to me at the end of the day. But holding it inside has been really hard for me, and I can't do it anymore. Do note that I was physically shaking out of nerves the whole time because it was super hard to just say that, and I was much more rambling than that, but that's the general essence. The thing was, I knew pretty much for a fact it wasn't mutual, which is why I didn't end it with, but if you are interested, I'd love to go on a date with you sometime. I was just honest and said what was on my mind. Honesty is the lowest effort thing you can do, and it will get you the farthest. At the very least, he should respect you for it. However, be prepared for it to get a little weird, at least for a while. The girl I confessed to and I had a really solid relationship, so the confession was just a little hiccup that we know is there, and it's just a part of the relationship, but not everyone has that benefit. Good luck with whatever you decide to do. If you ask for a date, though, and he's mildly interested, he'll probably say yes. At the very least, he'll probably turn you down and be flattered. Story 12. Confessions are unnecessary. Just ask them out and use the word date. If that doesn't work, try to kiss them at the end of the date. The problem with a confession is that it starts a relationship on unequal footing. Story 13. I'm really into you and I'd like to know if you feel the same way. Would you like to go out sometime? I'm a middle-aged, cranky old person and honestly, this is still to date my dream question. Story 14. 1. Glow up, wear the makeup you would on a casual first date. Good food, but no alcohol or drugs, so it's clear. Make him feel great about himself, but casually. Don't mix up best friends forever stuff with courting him. Honestly, just being taken out as a guy is a great feeling. If it goes well, then talk at the end about it, and if it's open, just try things you would do with people you like normally. Story 15. You can always do like my wife did when she broke that wall. We've been friends forever, and I really like you. Do you want to be my boyfriend? I was silent for a good minute before I realized what just happened. Story 16. I've seen a lot of good examples in this thread. The one set by user I am Fuzzy Wuzzy stands out as a great example. In your sort of situation, where you suspect the feelings are one-sided but aren't really sure and you'd like to give it a go anyway, I'd go with, hey, recycled eternity. I really like you, and while I'm certain the feelings are one-sided, I have to be sure for myself so I can move on. Would you like to go on a date with me? If you're sure about this next part, because sometimes it's harder to move on when you're constantly around them, then add, if not, then I'm perfectly content to remain friends. The formula: soft introduction, direct confession, introduction of an out, to excuse any awkwardness for the person you're asking, then a direct request. The addition is some excuse to go back to the status quo. Story 17. I remember reading a Reddit comment a while ago saying how men are so deprived of positive attention that just being polite to them will get them interested in you. I mostly agree with that sentiment. It might not exactly apply to your situation, but since you're still friends, it's very likely he does like you as a person. I doubt he would be opposed to going out with you. You don't have anything to lose by telling him how you feel. Best case scenario, you get a romantic partner. Worst case scenario, he knows you have feelings for him and isn't interested. It will definitely be embarrassing and nerve-wracking to tell him, but there isn't any guy that wouldn't love to have a girl make the first move. It might be easier for you to write it out and hand him the note, but the best way will always be to just get him alone somewhere and tell him how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're complex or simple with your confession, just as long as you don't beat around the bush and don't make him start guessing. Game playing never works. Story 18. What it is, ho, what's up? Can you come get in them guts? Cut me up like I ain't been cut. Show my ass how you really catch a nut. Well, give me your number and I'll call. And I'll follow that dick in the mall. Take you home, let me juggle your balls, while you beating and tearing down my walls. Story 19. Being pulled aside in private, having it be factually clear, just a simple I have a crush on you, or love if it's that deep. And I'd hate myself if I didn't tell you in case the feeling could be mutual. So would you want to go on a date with me? And finally, be given an out if the feeling from me isn't mutual, so being told something like, I have had this bottled up and I just needed to tell you. I realize I may have caused an awkward situation for you if you don't feel the same, But I really want you to know that it's obviously okay if you don't, and you need to tell me that if that's the case. I will be a bit sad, but don't worry, I will be fine. Summary. So the examples are just like stencils. You will say it differently depending on your personality. But to sum up, I would like to be told by a woman that they have a crush on me in a private place, in a clear way, and with an out I can take if I don't feel the same way. And writing this, I also realized I would definitely prefer, regardless if I feel the same or not, that she told me in a confident way, not confident that she thought I'd say yes, but confident in herself for having the feelings. I hope I made sense with that last part. Words are hard sometimes. Good luck. I wish you the best. Story 20. Guys like being confessed to. I honestly don't know where the rumor that they don't came from. If someone you like tells you they like you, it's nice to hear regardless of gender. Even if it is one-sided and he lets you down gently, it will not be because it was you who asked and not him. Story 21. Being honest and blunt. Most men will misunderstand anything else. I'm 49, married for over 20 years, and things my wife says still go over my head. Thankfully, she thinks it's cute most of the time. But who would have figured a redhead wouldn't just come right out and say, "We are going to be intimate tonight. Don't get on the computer after dinner." Story 22. If it were me, I would like to hear it roughly like this. I need to get something off my chest. I've had a crush on you for about 2 years. I haven't had the courage to say anything until now. But I think you are an amazing guy, and I would love to go on a date with you. Do you feel the same way? Kind of like that. Story 23. This is going to sound weird, but stay with me here. You're going to need a package of Reese's peanut butter cups, a 6-inch terracotta pot, preferably filled with rounded stones no larger than 1 inch in diameter, a back scratcher, 3 rolls of tape, one of which is double-sided, a gift card to Blockbuster with $3.14 left on it, and a copy of Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, so here's what you actually do. Tell him you fancy him and would like to take him on a date. Story 24. My friend had a crush on me, and I didn't realize. It was another friend who told me gently, but it wasn't reciprocated. Is there a friend who can mediate between you and gently probe the guy? I take it you've considered the future of the friendship if he says no. If you do confess to him, do it in person. Fuzzy Wuzzy has it pretty spot on, but it might be best to prepare yourself for a letdown and to be willing to accept him as just a friend, just in case. Good luck. Story 25. Say as bluntly as possible, "Hello? Yes. I have fallen madly in love with you. I am not teasing you. I am not joking. I love you. Please go out with me." I repeat, hello? Yes. I have fallen madly in love with you. I am not teasing you. I am not joking. I love you. Please go out with me. We're pretty stupid. Story 26. How I would like that kind of talk to go depends on whether I like you or not. Do I like you? Have the talk, however. Do I not? Then I would rather not have the talk. I actually am pretty sure that the feelings are one-sided, but to move on, I really need to talk with him about it. Before you take a step you can't take back, ask yourself why you feel it is one-sided. Does he show you any extra affection he doesn't show other girls? Does he give you more attention? Go out of his way to talk to you? Sometimes you feel like you have to get it out to get over it, but usually it's just a matter of realizing it's okay that the person likely isn't into you. All I'm saying is, if you feel this way, it's definitely important to examine why you feel that way. If your reasons to see this as one-sided are rational, then you should listen to them. If you're just worried about asking him out, then you should forge ahead and just try it. If you have the talk, you can do a few things to keep it chill unless you want drama in your friend group. Do not overreact one way or another. Be friendly either way unless he's mean about it or something. Don't push for reasons and don't try to convince him if he's not into it. If you need to lick your wounds for a little, do so, but don't cut him off entirely over it. That's what most people dread when friends admit crushes on them. Friendships falling apart. Story 27. Doing something big and flashy might be nice if it works out, but it'll hurt a lot if it doesn't. Just wait for a time when you guys are really enjoying each other's company. And straight up tell him, as said above, a lead-in like, "We've been friends for a while and we are great friends. I think it could be more." You might even take his hand or something like that. That kind of contact usually will tip a guy off immediately. Caution. Don't use something sexual if you really want a relationship. It can be hard for a guy to say no in situations like that, and he might allow it and not be truly willing to have a romantic relationship. Best of luck. Story 28. Straightforward. No need to beat around the bush. Maybe get lunch or something and bring up the topic as bluntly as possible to avoid confusion. I like you and want to see what would happen if we were more than friends. It's not very romantic being blunt, but it also gets things done quickly. I wish I had known to just say it straight up rather than coast around the topic or be subtle when I was younger. Story 29. Like others have said, don't be flirty or aloof. We don't pick up on that. Be direct and tell him exactly how you feel so that he understands right then and there that you like him. Story 30. You really have to be blunt. Speaking for myself here, but men generally can't take a hint. My wife flirted with me for a solid year before I ever found out she was into me.